Hello and a very warm welcome. We're about to get into a really important topic, especially as we're now in 2026. This whole discussion has been put together by the tax experts over at My Tax Accountant, and we're talking about undeclared income. So if you've got a side hustle, maybe you rent out a property, or you have any extra cash coming in that HMRC doesn't know about, you're definitely going to want to hear this.
Maybe you're a freelance designer based in London, or you've been selling some amazing handmade crafts online. That extra income feels great, right? But here's the question. Is it really off the books? Well, you might be shocked at just how much HMRC can actually see. Let's dive in.
And as I said, this whole breakdown comes from the specialists at My Tax Accountant. And their expertise is so critical right now because, honestly, the way HMRC finds undeclared income has become incredibly sophisticated.
So the big question is, how on earth do they know? You might think a little bit of cash-in-hand work, flies right under the radar. Well, I'm here to tell you, things have completely changed. It all kicks off with one seriously powerful system that has totally revolutionized tax investigations here in the UK. That system is called Connect. And look, this is not just some simple database. It is an unbelievably sophisticated data analysis platform. The best way to think of it is like HMRC's own digital detective, and it's working 24/7, piecing together a massive picture of your financial life, constantly looking for patterns and, more importantly, inconsistency.
So how does Connect know all this? Well, just look at the sheer range of sources it's plugged into. We're talking way beyond your bank account. Connect sees your sales on eBay and Amazon. It knows if you're listing a property for rent on Rightmove. It's pulling data from the DVLA, the land registry. It even keeps an eye on your crypto assets. And here's the real kicker that most people miss. Thanks to something called the Common Reporting Standard, it can see financial accounts you hold in over 100 other countries. Our digital footprint is just massive, and Connect is built to read every single bit of it.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a direct quote from HMRC themselves. When they call their own system a powerful data, networking, analytical, and risking tool, that's a pretty clear signal of just how serious its capabilities are. This thing is the engine driving a huge shift towards data-driven tax compliance. So, does it actually work? Oh yeah, the numbers are just staggering. £4.6 billion. That's how much extra tax HMRC brought in just 1 year using Connect. And here's a little pro tip for you. That figure is going up every single year, which means the system is only getting smarter. This isn't some far-off threat. It is a highly effective tool that's finding billions in unpaid tax right now.
Okay, so let's say Connect flags a potential issue with your tax return. It's noticed that your declared income just doesn't quite line up with all the financial activity it's seeing. So what happens next? Well, it usually starts with a letter from HMRC landing right on your doormat.
This is what's widely known as a nudge letter. It's a clever name, really, because it's not a formal accusation. It's not the start of a scary investigation. It's simply a gentle prompt, a nudge, to get you to just double-check your own tax affairs.
Now, the most important thing to understand here is that this letter puts the ball firmly in your court. HMRC is basically giving you a chance to look over your records and voluntarily fix any mistakes. It's your opportunity to sort things out before they escalate. But that's not all. Here's where most people go wrong.
It is so tempting to just see that letter, put it in a drawer, and hope it just goes away. But I have to tell you, that is the single worst thing you could possibly do. Stay with me here, because this is where the consequences of doing nothing become very, very real.
Ignoring a nudge letter, well, it's a bit like seeing a warning light pop up on your car's dashboard and just putting a piece of tape over it. The problem doesn't vanish, it gets so much worse. Let's take a look at what HMRC does next.
If you don't respond, if you just ignore them, HMRC can escalate things, and they can do it in a big way. They have a power called Direct Recovery of Debts, or DRD for short, and this allows them to completely bypass you and go straight to the source of your money.
Now, let's be clear. HMRC won't just raid your account out of the blue. There are some important safeguards. First, the tax debt has to be over £1,000. They also have to prove they've tried to contact you multiple times. They will even try a face-to-face visit to talk about a repayment plan. So this really is a last resort. But for those who just bury their head in the sand, it's an incredibly powerful one.
And this slide right here just perfectly illustrates the stark reality of what DRD means. One day, you have total control over your money. The next, HMRC can literally instruct your bank to send them the tax you owe directly from your account.
Now, they are required to leave you with a minimum of £5,000 across all of your accounts combined, but anything above that, up to the value of the debt, is fair game. It's a sudden and pretty jarring loss of control.
Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty serious. But the good news is, it absolutely does not have to end that way. If you realize you have undeclared income, there is a clear, official way to get your affairs back in order, and it is far, far better than just waiting for HMRC to come knocking.
The solution is all about being proactive, and the process is called a voluntary disclosure. This is the formal, correct way to tell HMRC about any tax you might have underpaid. And crucially, it shows that you're taking responsibility, which is something HMRC looks upon much, much more favorably.
So, now let's look at the next step, the process itself. It's 4 clear stages. First, you notify HMRC that you plan to make a disclosure. This starts a 90-day countdown. Second, within those 90 days, you must disclose everything, all the details of the income, the years involved, the whole lot. Third, you make a formal offer to pay what's owed, which includes the tax, interest, and any penalties. And finally, step 4, you pay the agreed amount. It's a clear, structured path to getting everything sorted.
And here is a massive incentive to do this. By making a voluntary disclosure, you can dramatically reduce the financial penalties. Did you know penalties for deliberately not complying can be as high as 100% of the tax you owe? But coming forward yourself can slash that figure. On top of that, HMRC can publicly publish the names of deliberate tax defaulters, but they won't do that if you come to them first. It protects your wallet, and it protects your reputation.
Now, the voluntary disclosure process is without a doubt the right way to go. But let's be honest, it can be pretty daunting. You've got complex calculations, official forms, and even negotiations with HMRC. And this is where getting professional help isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely essential.
Just ask yourself this. Are you 100% confident about which tax reliefs you're entitled to claim? Do you know how to calculate the interest on unpaid tax down to the penny? And are you really prepared to negotiate penalty levels with a highly trained HMRC officer? Because even one small mistake in this process could end up costing you thousands of pounds.
This is exactly where having an expert on your side, like My Tax Accountant, becomes a total game changer. They will make sure your disclosure is perfectly accurate, not a penny more or less than you owe. They'll calculate the exact tax bill, applying every single relief you're entitled to. Critically, they'll negotiate with HMRC to mitigate penalties, which can save you a serious amount of money. And honestly, the peace of mind you get from having an expert handle all of that for you, that's priceless.
So, if any of this has been ringing a bell for you, the absolute best time to take action is right now. Taking control of the situation yourself is the only way to guarantee the best possible outcome and, more importantly, give yourself that peace of mind.
For completely confidential, expert advice from a team that deals with these exact situations every single day, I really encourage you to reach out to the experts at My Tax Accountant. You can call them on 0208-570-8531, or you can send an email to info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. They can help you understand exactly where you stand and guide you on the best way forward. Okay, and now for a quick and very important disclaimer. The information we've talked about here is for general guidance only. Everyone's tax situation is unique and complex, so you should not rely on this alone to make financial decisions. Before you take any action, you absolutely must consult with a professional tax expert like the fantastic team at My Tax Accountant.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this has been a helpful and clear look at a very important subject. For more useful guidance just like this, please don't forget to subscribe to the My Tax Accountant channel. We'll see you next time.